I'm John Law, this is Chasing Cars, and today Nissan has unveiled a pretty significant update for the Nissan Navara, the brand's most popular vehicle here in Australia. Now, it's not an all-new vehicle, but the styling may have you fooled otherwise, and I think it looks pretty tough. They've readjusted the proportions, raising the front bonnet, and also added a heap more aggression to that grille, borrowing quite a few details from the Nissan Titan. And you can let me know what you think of the new vehicle in the comments section down below, but let's get into the details of what's changed in this Navara update. So the first thing we're going to take a look at with this new 2021 Nissan Navara is this all-new variant called the Pro 4X. Now, those of you listening from the USA will probably remember that the Pro 4X was a moniker for the US market Frontier, which is basically a Navara that got some Bilstein suspension. This isn't that. This is just a looks package. So it sells the idea of something that's pretty tough, and we reckon it does a pretty good job. Now, in Australia, it replaces the outgoing N-Trek variant, and it's a culmination of Nissan's unbreakable design philosophy, or at least that's what the brand said. So what does that mean? Well, it means it's got black trimmings. That's on the fender flares. It's got black finished 17-inch alloy wheels fitted with a set of all-terrain tyres, and it's also got an all-new grille borrowed from the US market larger size Nissan Titan. Now, Nissan will tell you that it's not a 100% carbon copy of that grille, and instead it was reworked to suit the rest of the lines on this new Nissan Navara, and we reckon it looks pretty tough, especially finished in those lava orange highlights. But I want you to tell me what you think of the new Nissan Navara in the comments section down below. Now, as for the rest of this vehicle, it's finished off in this lovely stealth grey colourway, which apparently in the flesh has this lovely metallic fleck to it. But here in photos, it looks pretty flat to us, but we'll hold our judgment until we can see a Nissan Navara in real life. These changes apply to all models, and they also get these awesome LED headlights with Nissan's iconic C signature in them. The other model we've got pictured here is a lower spec SL, but it's fitted out with pretty much the whole catalogue of Nissan's new genuine accessories. They include this bull bar you can see here with a tow bar and an LED light bar fitted into it. There's also a pretty rad looking snorkel and some roof racks. This all gives an idea of the customizability that's going to be available at the local dealer network, which we reckon is pretty wicked. Now, underneath, the changes are a little less drastic than what's going on here on the exterior. That means it runs on the same ladder chassis as the previous vehicle, and it's basically, as we said at the top, a pretty significant facelift. However, there are a couple of changes, including a new steering rack that's said to improve maneuverability and driving impressions. There's also a beefed up rear axle to take a little bit more abuse, and of course the Nissan Navara retains its coil sprung rear axle that makes it a pretty unique proposition and a really good drive on the road. Now, payload is also up, thankfully, because that was one of the main criticisms of the coil sprung rear end of the Nissan Navara. It's up basically 100 kilograms across the entire range, and towing capacity remains capped at 3.5 tons. Now, the lion's share of models that we're getting here in Australia will be powered by a carried over 2.3 litre twin turbocharged diesel 4-cylinder engine that makes outputs of 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters. Those outputs are pretty middling in 2020, but at least they do give it a chance at competing with rivals like the Toyota HiLux and the Isuzu D-Max X-Terrain, at which the Navara Pro 4X is aimed. Now, there's still a 6-speed auto or a manual gearbox offered, and Australian Navaras will be unique in that they get a drive mode that will allow a customer to switch between sport mode, off-road mode, and towing drive modes that best configure the vehicle's throttle responses and gear selection to suit the conditions. There's also a pretty cool sway control system that has been implemented to assist in the ease of towing. Inside, there's a couple of changes to the Navara as well, the most obvious being a new 3-spoke steering wheel borrowed from the passenger cars, which we rather like. There's also an 8-inch touchscreen which grows in size by 1 inch with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a 7-inch TFT information screen that is flanked by 2 analog dials for speed and revs. The Intelligent Mobility Safety Suite has been added pretty comprehensively to the new Navara as well. That means forward collision warning and AEB with pedestrian detection, as well as blind spot monitoring and a lane keep assist that works through the brakes. There's also a 360-degree monitor that will both assist with parking and, at lower speeds, allow extra off-road capability, as will the terrain camera, which Nissan said was really key in the Australian market in their market research. This will allow drivers to place the Navara with greater precision when driving on technical off-road terrain, which we reckon is a pretty cool idea. That is, if the resolution can be kept good enough. Now, for 2021, only the wide-body variants will be coming to Australia, though the exact specification of each model is still up in the air. But what we do know, and was confirmed today by Nissan Australia, is that there will be a successor to the Nissan N-Trek Warrior that was developed by Premcar. They will again be heavily involved in the process for the Australian model of this car. And we've heard as well from global Nissan executives that they're very interested in taking the fight to the full-fat Ford Raptor brand with the next generation Navara, though they did confirm that was further in the distance than this model. But that will heavily involve Premcar and Australian tuning divisions too, which is an absolute win for Australian manufacturing and know-how in my book. Now, you can let us know everything you think about the Nissan Navara in the comments section down below, and we reckon that this upgrade is a pretty significant one. Now, despite the fact it doesn't perhaps address all of the issues that we had with the previous generation Navara, we will hold off our comment, of course, until we get a drive of this new vehicle in early 2021. So that's our overview of the 2021 Nissan Navara. It's a pretty tough looking ute and we can't wait for it to arrive. We'll have our full thoughts and a full rundown review of this vehicle next year. But for now, I want you to let me know what you think of the new Pro 4X variant. Do you think it's tough enough, or do you reckon we need an N-Trek Warrior style variant that has been confirmed will come, but we're just not sure exactly when? Let me know down in the comments section below, and while you're down there, you may as well hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can stay up to date with all the latest news and car reviews from us here at Chasing Cars. And as always, thank you for watching.